What's going on, everybody? My name's Nick Hill. I'm the founder of Took the Apex, and today we're here with the Hamilton Collection, driving the Chiron Super Sport. Now, I drove this car quite a bit when it was back in Orlando, when I was taking care of the collection for about a month, and I have to say that this is probably one of the best cars that I've driven in a very long time. Now, to add to that, I will also say that this car is just a beast as far as the power goes, as far as the balance goes, and it just feels so sturdy. There's no problem with you going fast, and it wants to go fast. So this car, 1600 horsepower, quad turbo, 6-liter W16. 1600 horsepower, flat to the floor right now. Yeah, so obviously 0 to 60, 2.3, 2.4 seconds. 1600 horsepower, as I keep on stating, 275 mile an hour top speed on the limiter. With the speed key, you can go up to 305. That was the whole point of the Super Sport. So as we talk about the inside, it's filled with matte carbon fiber. You know, it's a bright orange interior that reminds you that you're in a $5 million hypercar. Now, one of the other things that you have to remember, and honestly think about, is that this car on the outside is Grigio Telesto. So what color would work well on the inside? Obviously, if you're going classy on the exterior, you could go a little bit wild on the interior. Now, this interior is like a Hermes orange, and it reminds you of the interior of like a designer store. So if you're looking for a Chiron, I'd say that for the money, is the Super Sport worth it? Now, Steve and a bunch of other people that have driven both cars have told me that there's a very small difference between the two, but just the looks and styling on this car changes the world of the difference from the normal Chiron. Now, with the driving style, you have the same comfortable Rolls-Royce, luxury car feel that you get from Bugatti. There's no obnoxious bangs or pops or anything like that that comes with cars like the Lamborghinis or the Ferraris. In fact, there is no pops and bangs. All this has is turbo spool. And that's easily demonstrated when you put your foot down, because it spools up and then dumps. So just all of the noises that it makes adds to the experience that you're driving something really special. On the interior, most of the buttons here are aerospace plastic, the same type of things that they use on planes. So with everything in mind, it's for aero and lightweight and speed. However, there's a lot of creature comforts in here as far as radio, as far as Bluetooth. When you look at these buttons here, you can easily change them to different displays. It'll tell you how much gas you have. It'll tell you, your odometer. All of it is just easy. It reminds you of just driving a normal car, which is why when you're driving it, the only thing that really showcases that you're feeling like you're driving a Bugatti is the power. God, I love this thing. So with Bugatti being a trending and a special brand, it's obviously important that the brand shows its heritage along with the car. And one of the biggest pieces where they do that is with the seats in this car. As you can see, there's an elephant on the seat, just kind of showcasing the old brand. Ettore was obsessed with elephants. That was the initial logo for Bugatti. And this car, the Super Sport, keeps that heritage along with it. It keeps people remembering what Bugatti used to be. It's bringing Bugatti into the new era, I want to say, because this is the last iteration of the Chiron before you have the Tourbillon that's coming out soon. Which, with that being said, might mean that it's also going to be the last full combustion Bugatti for the foreseeable future. Hard on the brakes. Brake up. Oh man. Where's my wing at? There we go. So, all in all, I'd say that this car, the Chiron, compared to some of the other hypercars on the market, is it worth the $4 million that you would spend? And in all honesty, yes, because this is a car that I feel like I could daily. I feel like it's comfortable enough that you could drive it all the time, to the point where you're just racking up the miles on it. It just seems like a very, very normal car. However, when it comes to the small things like the trunk space or some of the key features in the car that are like a little bit noticeable but not really, like for instance the buttons, I wish the buttons were a little bit more high-end. But once again, all of that is in the name of lightweight material, aerospace engineering for the most part, and it all really makes the experience what it is. And with that being said, I'd say yeah, the Bugatti is 100% worth it for the money. And I would buy one if I had $4 million. This would be what I would spend it on. Now, are there cars cheaper than this that are better? Yes, I would say that compared to this, I love the 918. I prefer the 918. However, does a 918 give you this kind of feeling? The turbo spool, the comfortability when you're going just stupid fast? Not really. I mean, yeah, it's stable. It's a very, very stable car. But when you're going 300 miles an hour and you feel like you can be indestructible in this thing because it plants itself, because you feel so safe, that's a feeling that you don't get from any other hypercar around. And that's exactly why you buy a Chiron Super Sport. Bugatti Chiron Super Sport, one of 80, one of 500 Chiron, and the last combustion Bugatti. On the Pure Sport, you have the X tail wing, you have the updated and upgraded front bumper, you have the louvers, you have all of the special stuff that goes along with a high downforce car. This, however, unlike being purposely built for high downforce, is purposely built for speed. And in that manner, since the teardrop is the most aerodynamic shape of all time, they extended the tail to allow for more wind to flow seamlessly over it, pushing the tail down, allowing for more power to be put down as well. They extended the tail, not the wheelbase. The wheelbase is the same as every normal Chiron, but the tail by around a foot or 22 centimeters. You have the updated exhaust and the diffusers that allow more air to travel more seamlessly through the underbody. Specifically so, it reduces drag. The whole body is carbon fiber, some of it exposed, some of it painted, most of it painted Grigio Telesto. Now, you have the small accents on the wheels, like the orange brake calipers, that match the interior. Now, if you come on the back side of this car at the same time, you'll also see the Super Sport writ script underneath the tail. Over here, we have the louvered fenders that allow airflow through the front of the car, as well as over here through the brakes. As I said earlier, all of this is focused on speed. So you have the little stripe down the middle that pulls up, along with the more aggressive front fascia with airflow here, an extended front lip here, and more air through there. As we move on to the inside, we see basically a full dry carbon interior with the orange. So the dry carbon extended all the way throughout the door. You have some cool storage cubbies here, power seats, which is very nice for the car. You have, the seats are quite comfortable as well. The bolsters hold well. You have the light here that is illuminated every time that you enter the car. And the cabin is actually quite spacious for what it is. Now, obviously the Bugatti looks a lot bigger on the outside than some of these other hypercars like the Porsche 918 or the McLaren Senna. However, I will say that when driving the car, it does not feel as big as it looks. You have the full dry carbon tunnel here, all of these buttons made out of aerospace plastic. You have touchscreen dials here, launch control, wing controls, your lift on the steering wheel, as well as a fitted rearview mirror with the 2 windows in view. On the seats, it feels like the interior of a Hermes store with all of the orange. You have Ettore Bugatti's elephant logo on the seats, along with the quilted stitching and the black Alcantara. I honestly love this car over most other hypercars, right? For me, it's Porsche 918 up top, and then the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport. I've driven normal Chiron. This definitely has more edge. I personally think that this feels like a shark. The color, the design, all of it just looks so aggressive. It truly lives up to the elephant. So what do I think about the car? I think compared to the Koenigsegg Regera, 100% better. I mean, Regera, obviously there's a lot of issues that come along with the Regera. It's a very cool car as far as concept-wise, as far as power, the engineering behind it, how it can transform. But I still think that this looks a little bit better than that. Now, comparing to the new Pagani Utopia as well, I also feel like I will take this over the Utopia, because for around the same amount of money, I feel like this is better well-rounded because it still has the art form of it, but it's also, it has that raw feeling to it that you get with a Bugatti, that you get with a hypercar. And while it has a good amount of art aspect that goes along with it, like the quilted leather, the elephant stitching, I also think that the amount of power that you put down, the safeness and comfortability that you feel while going at high speeds, plus at the same time, knowing that it's a 1600 horsepower W16 motor, I personally feel that this car is better than the Utopia, the Regera, and even the Pure Sport. So if you're looking for a Bugatti Chiron Super Sport, looking to buy, sell, manage your collection, anything, hit us up over at Took the Apex. We'll take care of you. We obviously work with the best. Shout out to the Hamilton Collection for letting us use their Bugatti Chiron Super Sport, and thank you for watching.